First of all, I want to thank you very much for inviting me to join you on your call. One thing I love about this company is that we are from different teams. We have no financial interest in each other, but we work together sharing our knowledge as we're doing right now. You've been to some of my meetings and you've been very graciously speaking for me, and I'm now sharing with you as well. This is probably the most unique company I have ever seen in network marketing in this way. So thank you for inviting me, and
It's an honor to have you here.
It's my pleasure to share my knowledge with you, whatever it is. I have to excuse my voice, I've got a bit of a cold, so but I'm okay. Background very briefly, left school, became a ladies' hairdresser, had an opportunity to get into the aerosol industry, which I did in 1963. And in our very first year, I made £2,000 profit, which in those days was a lot of money, so I decided to sell our salons, and that was great. And then the following year, I lost £20,000 and chased and worked hard. We worked 7 days a week, eventually built a factory, started manufacturing, and by 1990 it had grown to a £20 million business, and we were exporting all over the world. Unfortunately, there was a recession which hit us quite badly, and I lost the business, and I lost everything. I lost homes, cars, most importantly I lost my self-respect, and you know, you get knocked down, but what you do when you're knocked down is you have to get up again and start all over again. I've been a martial artist all my life, and many times I've been on the floor, and never ever did I stay down. So I think part of what I've learned in my life is that there are going to be hard times, you're going to get hard knocks, but if you get back and you carry on, you'll reach your goals. So after I lost my business, I became a braillist. I was producing braille for the blind, which was a very good job, and earned a lot of money, but if I wasn't working, I didn't earn anything. So if I wanted to go off and have holidays, it was difficult because my income went down.
Yeah.
In 1995, I was introduced to the concept of network marketing, and I absolutely fell in love with the system. It's based on what they've called leveraged income, which means that I earn money from my own efforts and also from the efforts of other people. And as you work as a team, you grow. And I loved that concept, so I joined a company, which was a makeup company and skincare company, and I went to absolutely every single training at head office. I had eyeshadow put on, nail polish put on, you name it. Got funny looks going home, but it was part of my training. But I did absolutely nothing in the business because nobody was actually showing me how to do the business. They were explaining products. And so I went from company to company, and as I did, I got better and I grew and I learned more about the industry. And I've now been in the industry 18 years. And I think for anybody that's looking to change their lives, network marketing is by far the best avenue to go down. It allows ordinary people to make extraordinary incomes, and it's quite incredible. I was very fortunate over the first 14 years that I grew some very good businesses with good income, and I decided to live the dream of a network marketer, which is to be able to retire and still have all my income coming in month after month, even if I don't do anything at all. So I retired, and 5 weeks later, my very good friend Roy Strong, who's now our second diamond, we went out for dinner one evening. We've been friends for 10, 12 years. And we were talking, and he had approached me the year before with FM, but because I knew I was going to retire and I hadn't told anybody, I just said to Roy, well, I did have a look at the company and it's very good, but it's not for me. But whilst we're having dinner, he said, please look at it again. So I said, okay. So I looked at it seriously this time. He left me the product and I was extremely impressed. So that got my curiosity going. I wanted to check out that the company was everything that Roy said it was, so I flew to Poland to meet the owners and to look at the factory, because I used to manufacture perfumes. It was part of my business, so I understood the machinery. I met Mr. Travinsky, and I had a whole day tour around everything, and I was very, very impressed. We sat in his boardroom, and he asked me if I had any questions, and I said, well, I have a comment. I said, I've been looking at your pay plan, and I'd like to make some suggestions. I've been in the industry a long time, and before I could say anything else, through the interpreter, he said, thank you very much, but we are very happy with our pay plan. We will not make any changes. And at that stage, I turned around to Roy and said, that's exactly what I wanted to hear. This is good, strong management. And I said, give me the form, I'm joining. I went home after that. My wife took one look at me and went, oh no, not another one. And I said, this is it. This is the one I've been looking for now for 14 years. And 4 years later, I still say this company is the greatest company there is in multi-level marketing, without a shadow of doubt.
Fantastic, fantastic. Amazing, amazing. And you know, when you first started, how was it? Can you tell us your did you go Amaranth the next week?
Oh, absolutely, yes, yes, next week. Yeah, in my dreams. It takes time to understand any business that you're going to go into. This company is based around moving our products to our customers. And it doesn't matter whether we're team building or just retailing, we have to move products. So for me, the first thing to do was to learn how to sell product, and it took me time. It took me quite a long time, because I've never sold perfumes before and makeup, other than sort of my very first bad experience. So it was a slow process. The one thing that was important to me is that I had a very good support from my sponsor, Roy. I'm quite knowledgeable in how to talk to people, but not about the product. One of the things that's a really important way of building a business is by having perfume parties. Mm-hmm. It's a great social thing. It's a great way to move product, to interest people in actually becoming distributors themselves. But having never held a perfume party before, I didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
I had my first party arranged, and I said to Roy, could you please come and do it? He said, of course. He did the second one for me. He did the third one for me. Once I'd learnt the principles of it, then I started to work it. And from that stage, I then started to grow business. I got to 21% reasonably quickly, but just so that people don't get the wrong impression, other than two of my very close friends from anything I've been in before, other than those two, I had not spoken to FM to anybody else previously. I started totally fresh. Mm-hmm. I just had two very good friends who joined the business because they wanted to be part of this. They loved it. So everything I've built in the team, with all the thousands in the team, this has all been built from scratch, doing the same as the person who's joining today will do. You speak to your family, to your friends, to your work colleagues, your neighbours, anybody. I mean, I tap people on the shoulder when we're queuing up at Tesco and say, excuse me, I can smell your perfume. It smells very nice. Can you tell me what it is? And when they tell me, I go, I thought it was something like that, but have you ever tried Federica Mahora perfumes? No. Very exclusive. Conversation, and probably the next day I'm there showing them our samples at their home. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So it's hard work. Hard work. But you know, hard work never killed anybody.
Yeah, and I think, you know, the two very important things here that I got from this is, you know, firstly, it is a slow process. You know, some people do, you know, go through the business, you know, very, very fast, you know, but that, you know, you can count those cases on your hands. You know, majority of the leaders, it does take, time, and you don't become a millionaire overnight, so it is so important, I think, to carry across that message that it is a serious business. You can earn an incredible amount of money here, but it does take time, and
Absolutely.
and the second thing that Stephen mentioned was asking Roy to do the perfume party for you, which is absolutely fine. And that is something that I think a lot of distributors need to learn. I think when people join, they say, oh, but my sponsor never offered me this, and they never helped me, and I never did, etc. And then you say, have you actually asked your sponsor to help you to do a perfume party, or have you asked them for more information, etc.? And they go, oh no, I was just, I thought they should supposed to do. And the sponsor, very usually they can have hundreds of people, and you just have one sponsor. So what it is easier for a sponsor to call 400 people, or for you to call the one sponsor? And they will be more than happy to help.
Absolutely. When I'm doing training, Gediminas, I tell people that we've all heard of the story of the tortoise and the hare.
Yeah.
Both of them get to the finishing line. Some people, as you quite rightly said, some people just take to this and fly with it and do incredibly well, and that's absolutely wonderful. I am a very slow learner. I always have been. I'm a plodder, but I get there in the end because I take my time. I treat the people in my team with respect. I help them and support them and help them reach their goals. The thing that people must realize that what's really important is to be successful in anything in life, you've got to sit down and you've got to make plans. We use something called a 90-day plan. I know your team do as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's important that you know what it is you want out of the business, and then you know what it is you have to do. I hear a lot of people when they come into network marketing saying, okay, well look, I joined you 2-3 months ago and nothing's happened. We've not done a thing.
Yeah.
And I'll say to them, oh, okay, so how many people have you spoken to? Well, only a couple. Do you do that on a regular basis? No. Do you go out and show your products? No.
Yeah.
Well, why do you expect to be successful? The people who are successful are the people who don't do this spare time. It's either full-time or part-time, but there's never be spare time.
Yeah. We don't have spare time.
Yeah, you'll never get a better opportunity in your life. It doesn't matter what industry you're in and how much you're earning. You will never, ever, ever find an easier, simpler way of making money than in network marketing, and especially as we're concerned with FM.
Absolutely.
Okay? But you need to put that effort in. It is a job. I hear people saying, job just over broke. This is fine, but you've got to treat this like work. But the rewards you're going to get are just incredible.
Absolutely, absolutely. It is amazing, and one thing that we always mention, and what Stephen mentioned already, is the passive income, because this is the only, way to actually earn that income, whether you're on holiday, whether you're sleeping, whether you're away, you're still earning money because you built a passive income business. We've got a few questions coming through. First one, Sam's asking, how can I invite someone to this? So what you need to do is share the registration link with them. So the link that you've used to register for this webinar and the link that we've posted today on Facebook and emailed it, etc. So that's the same link you should be using. A second question, can we have a copy of these slides? You can have these slides either from theadditionalincome.co.uk or simply -thebest.biz. We'll post those links at the end of the, or I can actually type them in so everybody sees that. Theadditionalincome.co.uk or simply -thebest.biz. Send to all. Okay, next one. That one I think for you, Stephen. I'm struggling. I've signed up but haven't sold anything yet. I've been on Facebook plugging it, but no one's interested. So what else can I do to get people to buy?
Very good question. Obviously, we're going to generalize here because I don't know the person speaking, but if you just put things on Facebook alone and you're not talking to people, you're going to find it difficult. The most important way of building your business has to be by talking to people, actually speaking to them. If it's on the phone, that's fine. It's far better doing it face to face. And it's how you approach people, because if you talk to somebody and you say, oh, I've just started a new business, it's absolutely fantastic, you must buy my perfumes, you'll watch the shutters going down over the eyes because they know you're doing a selling job. So speak to people you know or people you work with. A thing I mean, you've seen it 100 times, Gediminas, but one of the things I like to demonstrate to people, how simple it is to do this business. If you ever go out for a coffee, or if you work in an environment that's got a canteen or where people are sitting down at lunchtime, sit down, take out your sample kit, take out your catalogue, have your coffee and your sandwiches there. Make sure you're sitting near where there are other people sitting. Take out one of the samples, open your catalogue, smell it, nod, a little smile on your face, put it back, turn the page, take out another perfume from the kit. Somebody within a couple of minutes will ask you, what are you doing? And if they don't, just turn around to somebody sitting next to you and say, excuse me, sorry to trouble you. This is, I'm working with this company that do fantastic perfumes. This is one of our new ones. I would love to have your opinion on it. What do you think about this? Now, I do this. I take team members out. We go and have a coffee somewhere. I have never now, in 18 months of doing this, I've never ever either not sold a perfume or had interest from people that I have to then follow up with.
Absolutely.
So don't try and sell, try and share the information that you've got with people. You know, just ask them, do you like perfumes?
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
99% of the people in the whole world are going to say yes.
Absolutely, and people are curious, you know. So if they see you with the sample kit, if they see you, you know, taking out the samples, etc., they're just, you know, they're about to say, oh, what's that? What's that? You know, and you know, people look for that. The next question Amy is asking here, she's saying, what marketing tools can I use to sell? As I see everyone is selling stuff, and I'm not. I'm starting to think I'm thick. LOL. You know, the fact is that there are many marketing tools. But the main one that, you know, the company actually provides you with is the sample kit, you know, and that, you know, it should be always, you know, that should be your main tool, isn't it, Stephen?
Oh, absolutely. If you leave your house and you don't have your sample kit with you, you are missing 1,000 opportunities every single day for showing people your products. You know, it is so important. But there's no good leaving it in your handbag or for guys under your arm, because most of us, some of us might have handbags, but most of us don't. You actually have to produce it. You have to show people. If you have children at school, okay, and you take them to school in the morning and you pick them up in the evening, leave 10 minutes earlier. Go to the school, wave the kid in, turn around to the mums there saying, excuse me, do any of you ladies like perfume?
Yeah.
And if a few of them say yes, say, hey, I'm having a perfume party in 2 weeks' time at my house. Would you like to come along and be my guest? It's so simple.
Absolutely.
The only thing that would ever happen in 18 years in this industry, you have my word, please believe me, I have never seen anybody get punched on the nose when they've been approached with product. The worst they ever do is to say, no thank you.
Well, there's always a first one though, Stephen, isn't it?
I hope not.
Well, also I'll do a little bit of commercial here as well. Now, if you do go to Simply the Best website, there is a thing that you can use to sort of turbo boost your sample kit, which is a system called Color My Perfume, and you have to see that to understand why it's so good.
Thank you very much.
That's all right. That's all right. The next question, Lisa is asking, how do you get around customer paying up front for their products?
Another excellent question. If it's somebody that you know, then if you feel you can trust them, and they don't want to pay up front, then that's entirely up to you. I never ever lay out money for other people. This is a true story. I had a lady join our team. She was quite an experienced salesperson, and she wanted to do her first perfume party. And we showed her what to do, and I said to her, please make sure that you take the money at the start with the order, so that you don't have to lay money out of your own pocket, because people, when they come into our industry, they want to make money. They don't want to put their money up front. You know, not everybody has the opportunity to do that.
Yeah.
And she said, oh, well, I know everybody and it's not a problem. Anyway, she had a party and it was very successful, and she took just under £500 worth of orders, which was
Nice.
incredible. Yeah, but you see, there was a problem. She didn't have £500 to lay out for the order, so she left the company.
Oh dear.
Now, if she'd asked the people if she only got £300 from that up front, she would still be in the business, because she was really good. So if people don't want to pay up front, you have a decision to make. If people say to me, no, I don't want to pay up front until I see the goods, I say, fine, that's okay. You know,
Yeah.
sorry, it's not me, it's the company. The company tell us that we should take money up front.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if they don't want to, then move on. The problem you have is that there's only 60 million people in the UK. I'm sure you can find somebody else that will pay.
Absolutely, absolutely. Derek is asking, is Stephen's great training book still available? I lost mine when I moved house. I think for that you'll have to come to the next basics training. Go back to basics.
No, actually, it is actually available. You can buy it from the shop on the Simply-the-Best.biz website.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
It's only £2,000.
Oh yes, oh yes. Also, one of the questions that we quite often get, and I want to ask that you, Stephen, as well. You know, how do you find new people? I know you mentioned about the canteen situation, but what else? What else do you do to find more people? You know, somebody who's just starting out, you know, and you hear that thing all the time. They say, "But I don't know anybody. How will I build my business? Where will I find people?"
Okay. Quite often we go socially. We go out to parties and things like this where we meet new people. And you don't want to walk into somebody's home as a guest and start, you know, bringing out your sample kit and pitching everybody, because you'll soon lose all of your friends.
Oh, that's why they don't invite me anymore.
Oh, I'll invite you to our next party. But one of the things you can do when you're talking to people, I mean, sometimes you go to dinner parties, sometimes you go to somebody's house and just having drinks, or you're meeting in the pub with a load of people you don't particularly know. And one of the things I've sometimes done is I will say, I was talking to Tracy, my wife, the other day, and she said to me, if money was no object, you know, absolutely you had enough money to do whatever you wanted to do in your life, what would you like to do with your life? And I'll turn around to somebody and say, well, what would you do? And then they'll go through and they'll say, well, I'd like to have probably a big house, and I'd have a yacht, and I want to travel the world, and you know, whatever it is that person might say. And then I'll turn around and say, oh, that's absolutely fantastic. And I'll get them to expand on that.
Yeah.
And then I'll say something like, well, in your current job, will you ever be able to achieve that with what you're doing now?
Mm-hmm.
And I'll normally get a very blank look from them. And they'll say, well, no. So my third bit would be, I'd say to them, you know, not now, obviously, because we're having fun and everything, but if I could show you how to achieve that, would you be interested? And they would always say yes. They'll never say no to me.
Yeah.
And I say, okay, give me a business card, and I'll give you a call tomorrow night, and you know, we'll get together. So that's one way of doing it. If you want to meet people, go where people meet. So we've got some hopefully on the call this evening, I've got some ladies who do Zumba with my wife and my daughter. Three of them have just yesterday joined the business, and hopefully they're on the call tonight listening in. If you do any activities, don't be shy, and if you go down the gym, or if you play badminton, or you go swimming, just say to people, by the way, excuse me, do you like perfumes?
Yeah.
And if they say, oh yes, you say, well, I work with an international company that's now got their products in the UK. They're very exclusive, they're very inexpensive. Can I give you a brochure, or could I show you next time we're in the gym? I'll bring my sample kit with me, and I'll show you some of the perfumes. Just don't be shy with people. I know you'll laugh now, but I am basically a very shy person. But networking has changed me. As my businesses have grown, I personally have grown in my personality, in my nature, and in my self-respect. So don't be shy. People will just say yes or no. Just take the opportunity. As I say, speaking to the lady in front of me in Tesco, oh, I like your perfume. What is it? Oh, that's really nice. Have you ever heard of Federico Mahura?
Yeah.
It's just a way of making conversation.
Absolutely, absolutely, and it is just talking to as many people as you can when you meet them anyway. You talk to them anyway, so you might as well just have the conversation about what you do. When people ask you, one thing that I've learned from one of the network marketing gurus, Eric Worre, he always says people forget what they do. And when somebody asks you, oh, what do you do for a living? They go, oh, I'm a part-time cleaner, I'm a Tesco, cashier, etc. And they say, no, you shouldn't say that. You should say, I'm a professional network marketer and I work at Tesco's. Or I'm a professional network marketer and I'm a school teacher. So the people go, oh, what's that?
That's excellent.
Absolutely.
That's absolutely excellent. Yeah. Yeah.
Now, Stephen, you are a leader by all ways of defining that word. But what would you say makes a good leader? If somebody's started to build their team and they want to become a leader like yourself, what do they need to do?
Oh, I love this question. To be a leader, you have to have people following you, and one thing, you have to know your trade. That's the first thing. There's in life you can only bluff so much, but at some stage you actually have to know. So when you start in your business, make sure you're learning from the people who are successful, because you want to copy them. Obviously, you want to be successful too. So firstly is have the confidence in your knowledge. When I'm training my leaders, I insist that they do 90-day plans, business plans, because without goal setting, you don't know where you're going. And once you've done that, you can then start teaching your people to do goal setting too. So to be a leader, you have to help people reach their targets, their dreams, their wants in their life.
Yeah.
That's really, really important. And it's about not, once you've done your 90-day plan or your long-term goals, whatever it's going to be, forget about you, forget about what you're going to earn, forget about everything about you. Concentrate on helping those people in your team who put their hand up and say, I want to be successful, because you're going to get a lot of people who won't do anything. But look for the people who want to be successful and concentrate on helping them develop their skills so that they can become leaders too. Once you have leaders in your team, you will automatically be extremely successful.
Yeah. Absolutely, that's amazing. Definitely, like anything we do, in order for you to become successful, you have to help other people to become successful.
Yes, yes, absolutely.
Amazing. Also, what do you say to people who are skeptical? The people who say, "Oh yes, but Irene Oliver just got paid to stand next to the Mercedes and pretend it's hers, and nobody's actually making that money. They all just, smoke and mirrors, etc. This is all just a scam. It would never work."
I'm a little bit older than you. But, I've been around a long time. I go back to what I said earlier, that there's, in the UK there's 60 million people, there's 7 billion people in the world. There's always going to be people who will not believe that things like this work. Network marketing's been around now about 75 years. There are many, there's thousands and thousands of people who are multi-millionaires from network marketing.
Yeah.
I never ever get into an argument when somebody says to me, "Oh, well, you know, this is a scam. You're just taking money, and it's a pyramid. It's all this, everything illegal." I don't get into an argument with them. I say, "Fine, you know, that's your opinion." But see, they're talking from ignorance.
Yeah.
And I would much rather spend my time with people who are positive, who are looking for something, rather than from somebody that wants to just be a critic and say, "Oh no, that won't work." You know, when you see people like Irina and Roy and other diamonds, you know, we go every year. We go to celebrate the anniversary of the company, and all of the orchids are all there together for a week's training. We were in Malta last year. It was Portugal the year before. You know, I would love one of these people to come and say, "Oh, this doesn't work." You know, there are people there earning huge 5-figure incomes. You know, it works.
Absolutely.
I'm not going to waste my time arguing with them. I'll talk to the positive people.
Absolutely, absolutely, and that is so important, you know, to know, and that's, you know, why I think, you know, a lot of people stop themselves short because they speak, you know, to people that are around them, you know, and usually, you know, if you are very, very poor, you know, there's a big chance that people around you are very, very poor and they haven't seen anybody who actually made it in network marketing or any type of business for that matter. And if you speak to a couple of people and they are negative, then you might say, "Oh, you know, this business is never going to work." But like you say, there's, you know, 6 billion people on this planet, and, you know, you haven't spoken to enough people if you haven't got anybody in your team yet, you know. It's
Sure.
simple as that.
Yeah, there's one thing I'd like to add, Gediminas, on that, is that when you're building your teams, what's really, really important to remember is that not everybody's going to have the same dreams as you. You might be wanting to, say, earn £10,000 a month, whereas somebody else is looking to change their life by having £100 a month coming in.
Exactly.
Because it will allow them to help pay off their credit card or the mortgage or whatever it is, and they'll be delighted with that. For you to then start talking to that person about how would you like to earn 10,000, you could actually take away their dream because it's not realistic to them. So when you're talking to people, make sure you find out first what they want, what they would like out of the business before you tell them what they can have. And if have I got time to tell you a very quick story?
Yeah, go on.
Yeah. Okay. The very first network I was ever in, the people that we call diamonds were in America, and they came over and we were doing some training with us, and they told us this story. I asked her, how did she get in the business? And she said, well, she went to one of these places that put false nails on your fingers, and the lady was talking to her and said, would you like to look at a business? And Fran said, yes, you know, and the woman told her all about it. And the woman said, what do you think? And Fran said, sounds interesting, but could I earn $50 a month out of the business? So the woman smiled and thought about it and said, yes, Fran, you can earn $50 a month out of the business. Fran said, that's really great, then I'm going to join the business. So she joined. And then the woman said to her, so tell me, why do you want $50 a month? She said, well, instead of coming here once a year to have my nails done, I can come in every month and pay you the $50. Within 3 months, they were earning $20,000, her and her husband, $20,000 a month.
Nice, nice. Yeah, so start small.
So, hello?
Yeah, yes, I just said start small.
Yeah, so don't try and bigot to people that really aren't interested in that big figure.
Absolutely.
You know, it's really important. Listen to them.
I've just noticed there are a few comments by another panelist who's on the call, Mr. Ian Cording, and one was posted when I was doing the business opportunity, and he said, slower speaking, they may not all have the rapid English as their first language. and And then a second comment was made, is the complexion on the photo down to the Skin Lab mattifying cream, B-glucan serum or Photoshop?
Oh, he can be such a bitch.
We'll cut this out.
I'll put, my youngest daughter is training to be a photographer, so I'll put it down to good photography and maybe a slight touch-up of makeup.
Amazing. Now, also one thing you mentioned, Stephen, was goal setting. And one thing I wanted to ask you, how do you follow through the goals with your team, and how do you make sure that the person actually achieves those goals and they actually go for it, not just say, okay, I want this, that, and the other, and then never get around to doing it?
Oh, I love that question as well. Gediminas, as leaders, we can teach people, we can help them, we can mentor them, we can do everything. But the one thing you can't do with people is you cannot motivate them. Motivation is something that comes from inside. So people only fool themselves when they write down their short-term and their long-term goal setting if they don't carry through. So when I sit down with somebody and we do either the 90-day plan or the short-term goal setting or long-term goal setting, they do it and we talk it through. Mm-hmm. Then it's up to them. So once I know what somebody's looking for, I will help them find the path that's going to be suitable for them. I'm there to support them, but they have to do it themselves. So if somebody sets their goals but doesn't actually follow it, well, they're only kidding themselves at the end of the day. They're not kidding me. They're not kidding the team. They're kidding themselves.
Absolutely.
You can't make them do it. Mm-hmm. I might point out to somebody that, John, 6 months ago when you did your short-term goals, you were going to be at such and such a position. Can I ask you, have you achieved it yet? And I know anyway that they haven't.
Yeah.
And they'll say, no, we haven't. And I'll say, well, explain why. And they'll give me a huge amount of stupid reasons why. And at the end of the day, if it hadn't worked, why didn't you reevaluate your goals, or why didn't you talk to me? Why didn't we sit down and do them? But truth be told, at the end of the day, we help people. We can't do it for them.
Yeah.
I know Roy and Irina have got sort of like 30,000 people roughly in their teams. They can't speak to every single one and help and support them all. Exactly. Some people have to take responsibility. Yeah. So it's just making sure people realize they have to take responsibility.
Definitely, definitely. Okay, Stephen, I kept you, I think, long enough. Thank you very much for your time. It is an honor to have you on this call and to have you with us. I hope that the audience enjoyed it as much as I had. We've got some thanks coming through. Thank you, guys. It really helped me. Thank you, Gediminas. Thank you, Stephen. Very uplifting from Ryland, and many others are thanking. So it is amazing to have you here, Stephen. I hope it's not the last time we have you on the call.
Thank you so much for inviting me and allowing me to share some of my knowledge with you. I really appreciate it. I always enjoy listening in on your calls because every time I'm on the call as a listener, I learn every single time.
Fantastic, so fantastic. Thank you very much. Hi, hi, Ian.
Hey, it's the Blue Captain here. Yeah, I'm kidding, Stephen. It's a great photo. It's a great photo. What I'd like to just contribute to this evening, Benita, my wife, tried to explain the business for me for probably nearly 2 years, and it was 2 visits to Stephen doing the opportunity presentation at Ilford that really grasped me and brought me into this business. So big respect and very, very big thanks to Stephen.
Fantastic, Julian. I appreciate that.
And my wife has now kicked me while I said thank you. So thanks guys, great one.
All right,
Thank you for that. I
guys.
appreciate that.
Fantastic.